Let me get Doug Flynn's take on this, certified financial planner, co-founder at Flynn Zito Capital Management. Won't be the first conversation you and I have had about this either. I mean, like I said, NewsNation, we've been all over this kind of trade school idea. I mean, Cuomo did a special on it some time ago, and we've talked about kind of the pluses and minuses. But does it have to be an either-or with Harvard? That I'm not sure of. What's your opinion of what's been going on here with Trump, Harvard, and now the trade schools?
Yeah, I think Trump has it in for Harvard because, I mean, the key stat that stuck out to me is on donations over $100 by the officials at Harvard, over 99% went to Democrats. And so, you know, I think that's part of it. And, you know, yeah, that's a big number. I don't know how much closer you can get to 100 than they are. And even 94% of all their political contributions go to the other side, according to Trump. And so I think that's part of the impetus. And, you know, whether or not he's already frozen some funding, I don't know if this is in addition. That's a little unclear. But I think the trade school thing is a thing that we've been talking about for a while because it is an alternate path. I mean, if you look at Europe and a lot of other countries, it isn't college or nothing. It's, you know, it was always a reasonable and a reputable profession to go into things such as automaking and other types of industries. And it's an alternate path. You didn't have to go to college to figure out what you wanted to do. So I think this is becoming more like that, and maybe some of that funding needs to get equaled out a little bit.
Let me ask you about the stock market today. We have about 3 minutes left in the trading session. It's going to be just an up day, right? Closed yesterday for the holiday. This back and forth with the European tariffs, you know, they were on and then they were off. Now they're delayed. Market likes that for today. Should we just assume that the worst threats from the president, if you're looking at investments anyway, are just not going to come to fruition, or would that be getting way ahead of ourselves, do you think?
I would definitely not assume that. So I do think, though, that, you know, it's funny to me that Europe was not really getting serious about their negotiations, and this kind of sparked them to do so, to the point that we're like, okay, we will fast track our discussions to get it done, but we need a little bit more time. And so that's negotiating, and you're kind of seeing it play out live. And the market's reacting to the fact that, you know, hopefully we'll get a deal. There's really four major places we need deals with: China, the EU, Canada, and Mexico. That's the vast majority of everything we need. All the other countries are nice, but that isn't the majority of it. And the market's also reacting to a rebound in consumer confidence. It's the first time it's been up in 5 months, so that's a great thing. And also, Japan said they're the largest holder of U.S. debt. We're not going to have to sell as much as we thought we would, so the bond market's rallying as well. And so today's one of those soaring days, if you will, as opposed to plunging days.
We'll take soaring over. Yeah, we like soaring instead of plunging. But that is kind of interesting because we looked at consumer confidence, which is, you know, people look to the future and say, well, am I confident? And I don't know with all this tariff talk. But then when the China kind of truce goes in place, now all of a sudden people say, well, maybe it won't be as bad as we thought. Let me do one more story here before we get the closing bell. Southwest Airlines making some more changes. You know, it's it was the airline, you know, it is a discount airline, but it's kind of changed its business model a little bit. This is the latest here on checked bags. They're going to charge $35 for the first, 45 for the second. Thoughts on this and where Southwest is going, and how it fits into the competitive landscape?
Sure. So baggage fees last year for U.S. airlines were over $7 billion. Wow. And Southwest got exactly zero of those. And so what happened is you had an activist investor get involved with Southwest. They got 5 board seats, and they said, hey, you know, enough with the differentiating. I know you've had this plan in place for over 50 years where 2 bags fly free, but you need revenue and you need to compete. And so just act more like everybody else. And so all they're doing is doing what everybody else is doing, which is you're going to get waivers for bags if you're a frequent flyer, if you have the co-branded credit card, all these other things that all the other airlines do. And so they're just going to be like everybody else. And maybe that's not a terrible thing, but certainly it upsets some people.
Well, make a few $100 million or $1 billion off it. Maybe it's not. It might help,
Get a piece of that
around the edges. All right, Doug. Thank you. There's the closing bell.